Welcome everyone to the another digital classroom for English language for classes 9 and 10. The topic which we are going to discuss today is composition writing. For classes 9 and 10, the total marks for composition is 20 marks. And for classes 11 and 12, the total mark for composition is 30 marks. The most important question which comes in the board examination for classes 9 to 12 for ICSE and ISCA board examination is composition writing. A weak and a careless composition that you write the board examination can result you of failure in the English language board exam. The examiner examines your language ability while doing the corrections on composition. The language ability consists of four things. They are your language, your grammar, your presentation, and lastly, your contents appropriate to the topic. To improve your language ability, we need to improve the learning skills. What are they? Which we have discussed in the previous classes. They are LSRW. L stands for listening, R, S stands for speaking, R stands for reading, and the last one, W stands for writing. You need to continuously work on the four learning skills. And it takes a long time to improve your language. No one in the world who has improved and became fluent in the language within a short time. Because tremendous effort, continuous practice, and ceaseless effort are the key guidelines to improve any language. Work on that. I have been telling you number of things about the importance of writing a composition in the board examinations, especially for classes 9, 10, 11 and 12. I have told you composition is one of the most important questions which comes in the board examination. Before we learn the composition, how to write, let us look at the definition. What a composition is all about. A composition is an original piece of continuous writing on a particular theme or a subject. A composition is an original piece of continuous writing on a particular theme or subject. It's an original writing. It's not a writing based on a particular story or incident which you have already heard. It cannot be. The writing should come from your own experience. And it can be a narrative, it can be analytic, speculative, or interpretative. A composition can be a narrative, analytic, speculative, and interpretative. Now let us learn about, there are 10 precautionary measures that we need to take in advance when you want to write a good compositions. When you want to write a compositions, we need to do a lot of preparation. And we need to take some precautionary measures, thereby we can write a good composition in the examination time. What are the 10 precautionary measures? And I have already mentioned here, there are 10 precautionary measures that we need to take when we go for writing the board examination, and especially when we appear for the board examinations, we need to prepare a lot. The first precautionary measures that we need to take is that a right choice of the topic. As all of you know, in the board examinations or in the examinations, whatever the examination comes for you, when you have or when we get 5 topics for the compositions, you'll be given 5 topics, and among the 5 topics we need to choose one topic. And when you fail in taking a correct topic which you can write a lot, where you have enough information, where you can write interestingly, or where you have enough knowledge and content to write, you need to take a particular topic where you can write more. That's what we talk about right choice of the topic. If you take the right topic, half of the burden, half of the battle is already over. You need to take the correct topic when you attempt a composition, and you will be given always 5 topics to write, but you need to take any one of the 5 topics and write for the examination. And second one is that your language, grammar, argument and thoughts should be in a way, for example, good language. And second one, grammar should be correct grammar, usage of correct grammar. Arguments should be adequate and it should be relevant. And next one, thoughts are to be arranged in a meaningful order. It can be a chronological order, it can be a logical order. According to the time sequence, we need to arrange them accordingly. The third precautionary measures that we need to take is that flowery language is not allowed. You cannot write flowery language, a language which according to your own style, where the standardization is not maintained. You need to follow the correct grammar or correct language, and flowery language is not at all accepted, not at all allowed in the board examination when you write a composition. The next point is that memorized materials are not allowed. As I have already told you, that memorized materials which you by heart from any other books or any incidents which you have heard from films or any other common incidents or common short stories or anything that you or people are aware of it. For examples, we have in the lower classes we have learned different type of short stories. That same stories or a film, for example, there are popular films where we come to know different people's reactions and stories and incidents. That same thing you cannot copy when you write the compositions. Whatever you write, the writing materials should come from your own real experience. You need to think on the topic and write accordingly. It cannot be a passage or a short story or incident which you by heart from somewhere and exactly you copy and write down in the answer sheet, which is not at all allowed. The next one is the fifth precautionary measure is that simple language with the correct use of grammar. You shall not go for very flowery language, very difficult language, complex sentences where a one sentence starts from the beginning of the paragraph and the particular sentence ends in the first means that particular paragraph. You can go for very simple sentence, and that particular simple sentence should follow the correct usage of grammar. And next point is that reading and writing. Every online classes that I take, I emphasize importance of reading and writing every day. The only way to write a good composition or only the way to improve your language is that regular reading and writing. As I have told you, early in the morning is very good time for you to read more, and before you go to bed, make a point to write more and make it a regular habit. Thereby you improve your language gradually, and that will help you a lot when you write the compositions. So read more and write more. The next point is that make it interesting. What does it mean by make it interesting? It stands for your composition. Whatever the compositions that you write in the exams or wherever you write, make it an interesting one. It should attract the attention of the reader. It should create curiosity in the mind of the reader. The reader should feel to read or feel to continue reading it. There are times when we read the compositions, we feel bored and we do not feel to continue reading because that particular composition doesn't have any content or it doesn't have any worth to read. Your composition should be good enough and it should make interest, or it should create curiosity in the mind of the reader, and the reader should have the tendency and surprise elements that what happens next, what is going to happen. So it is a duty of the writer to write in a way that should create a curiosity in the mind of the reader, and the reader should feel to read, continue reading. So that is one of the very important duty of a writer, and it can cultivate, it can be achieved only through writing more and have the habit of writing more. The next point is that write legibly. We find many a times when we go for paper corrections or when we do the evaluation of English language papers, there are lot of cuttings, lot of rewriting, lot of places, lot of corrections are going on. That these things are not allowed, especially in the board examinations. When you write legibly. Your handwriting should be good enough. Thereby, the people who correct the papers should continue to correct and should feel to do corrections. And next point is that follow the word limits. You have been always for classes 9 and 10, you are asked to write 300 to 350 words, whereas for class 11 and 12, you are asked to write 450 to 500. You have to follow the word limit, and you have to maintain the word limit, and you cannot write more or you cannot write less. Always follow the word limit. The next point is that write from your own experience. So when you write from your own experience on a particular topic, it becomes a real one. You are not allowed to write anything that is not original. You need to write a composition which comes from your own experience, which you have met with, or any incidents when you have met with, then you can write more about it. You are very clear about the topic and you can write well. All these 10 different precautionary measures which we follow properly in the examinations and before the examination, I think you can do well in the composition writing. Now let's learn the power of writing, which is very important for you to keep in mind and follow in the exam while you are writing a composition. What is power of writing? P stands for planning, O stands for organize, W stands for writing, E stands for editing, and the last one R stands for revision. These are the 5 stages. If you do follow correctly, then you can be sure that you write an effective composition, a composition which you have done well, and you can expect good mark for that composition. If you look at the power of writing, the 5 stages in writing, W, the writing the composition comes in the middle. The third stage is to write a composition, which means that when you get a topic in the examination, when you are going to write a composition, before writing, there are 2 things that we need to do before. Then you write the composition on a topic. Then after writing, there are other 2 things that we need to write. So 2 things or 2 stages, 2 level of things that we need to do before writing, and there are 2 things that we need to do after writing. So what are the 2 different things that we need to do, or different stages that we need to follow when you write a composition before writing? So you take a topic in the composition, and when you take a good topic, right choice of the topic I have already told you, you need to follow. You take a good topic where you can write more, where you have got enough contents and information and knowledge on that. So firstly, you take a topic. After taking the topic, you need to plan them. You need to plan, how am I going to write a composition? How many paragraphs that I need to write in this particular composition? You know that there are different type of plannings that we can go according to the nature of the composition. If it is an argumentative composition, every time in the board examination you are asked to write an argumentative composition. If it is an argumentative composition which you have chosen to write, then you can go for knowledge categories plan. Web planning, for example, web planning is another planning. Knowledge categories plan where you write the topic in the middle, and just like web, you just go for different. For example, smoking is injurious to health. If that is the topic is given there for argumentative composition. So what are the physical problems, health problems, emotional problems? So like that you can go for different type of web chart or knowledge categories plan, and you can get all the ideas that are related to that particular topic. You can collect them. That's what we go for planning. If it is a narrative composition, we can go for WH planning. WH, the word stands that where it happened. For example, if you are narrating an incident or an accident, so where it happened, when it happened, how it happened, why it happened. So when you look at, or when you arrange, or when you plan with the WH planning, you get more information, you get more ideas, you can write on that particular topic in a proper way. If you do not go for these type of plannings, definitely you can only write about one of the areas of that particular topic. If you want to write on that particular topic in a complete way, or if you want to write in a correct way, you need to follow any one of the plannings which I am telling you. And next planning is that if you are going for narrative compositions or any descriptive composition, we can go for sound, sight, smell planning. For example, what are the things that we can smell, what are the things that we can hear, what are the things that you can see. These are all examples of different plannings. According to the nature of the topics, we need to plan accordingly, and you need to select which type of planning you need to go for, and accordingly you do. So planning has very important role before you write a composition. And the next one is that organize. What do you mean by organize? When you get a topic, you take a correct topic where you can write more, and you get hundreds and more than 100 ideas on that particular topic. You are well aware of that topic, and you have got well knowledge on that particular topic. You get more ideas. You get more ideas, more knowledge, more points on that particular topic, which may be relevant one, which can be irrelevant one, which can be important points, which can be unimportant points. Whatever may be, you collect all your ideas. Either you can collect all your ideas in the mind, or you can write down in a paper and you can plan accordingly. For example, if you get 100 ideas, 100 points on a particular topic. So what you need to do? All these 100 points on that particular topic may be relevant or irrelevant. So after collecting all the ideas, what you need to do? What are the important points that you find, write them, so select them. What are the unimportant points you have to avoid and neglect? So what are the good points, what you find, only you need to take into writing. That's what we need to do, organize. And here also we need to organize how many paragraphs that I am going to write. What am I going to write in the introduction? What am I going to write in the body of the composition? What am I going to write in the conclusion? All these planning and thinking and organizing, all the things are to be done in the second stage. Then comes, after planning and organization, you need to write. Then you will have no problem while writing, because already you have planned, already you have organized all the materials, writing materials, and definitely you can write fluently without any problem. After writing the composition where you wrote legibly and following the word limit, then comes the next stage, that is to edit. Edit means, you know that you can have corrections, or you can do the editing, you may do the corrections, you may do the you may cut a particular, for example, if you find a spelling mistakes, you can cut it and you can write overwrite. If you find, for example, if you find punctuation mistakes, you can do that. If you find any word is not necessary and required over there, you can avoid it and you can cut it. All these editing part has to be done, and that is not allowed for you to do everywhere. But in 1 or 2, 3 cases, you can go for editing. The next one is that revise. Revise means after writing the composition, after editing, you need to read the complete compositions 1 or 2 times. Thereby, you will come to know again if any mistakes are there, grammatical mistakes or punctuation mistakes, any mistakes which is not allowed in writing compositions can easily pick out and you can do the corrections. So all these are the 5 steps that we need to do while writing the composition. The first one is planning. Second one is organize. The third one is to write. And fourthly, we need to edit. And fifthly, we need to revise. Now let's learn the different types of compositions which are usually asked in the examinations. They are descriptive, narrative, argumentative, short stories and picture compositions. I have given them in a short form. DNASP. D stands for descriptive, N stands for narrative, A stands for argumentative, S stands for short stories and P stands for picture compositions. Let us learn them in detail. The first one is descriptive composition. Describe. When you describe a particular person, place or thing, what thing that we need to have? We need to have eye for detail. Eye for detail means that we need to observe the things, people in a close observation. We need to have the tendency and we need to have the ability to observe the things properly. And this type of composition doesn't call for imagination. Descriptive compositions are not compositions which are written on your imaginations. You imagine a thing like that. I imagine that it looks like that. The people will be like that. Imagination doesn't have any role to play here. You need to observe the things properly and write. And second one is narrative composition. Narrative composition means you are narrating an event or incident or series of incidents. It can be a journey, it can be a biography, etc. These are the different areas where a composition we can narrate. Narrative composition has got different realms of writing, like narrate. It can be a narrative, it can be a what we talk about, narration or accident or incident, etc. The next one is argumentative compositions. You are asked to write an argumentative composition. When you take a topic for argumentative composition, you need to argue for or against the topic. Your stance should be clear, whether you are arguing for or you are arguing against the point or the topic. And next one, short stories. When you are writing a short story, because telling stories naturally it comes naturally to man. When you write a short story, the character, you can be one of the character in the short story. You need to create or you need to write plot. Plot means storylines. The characters, there should be few characters, and atmosphere. You need to create proper atmosphere. So these are the elements of writing a short stories. What are they? Plots, characters and atmosphere. Next one, picture compositions. You will be given a dramatic picture where people are with their actions. Either people are walking, people are doing different things. So always you are going to get a picture where the people are with their actions. So if you get a picture, you can write 3 things. Either of the 3 things you need to write. For example, you can write a short story on that particular picture. You can frame a short story and you can write, or what the picture suggests to you. What are the things that you get from the picture? And fourthly, you can write description, a short description. You can describe the picture. When you describe the picture, it's not mere descriptions, but you need to think widely and you need to write accordingly. All these are the different and these are the common types of topics which come in the examinations for board exam, and I want all of you to prepare accordingly and write and know the different type of compositions usually asked in the exam.